Welcome to another take. In this episode, we'll be discussing cinematography and its importance to film. Because there are simply too many movies with beautiful cinematography to discuss them all, we will be focusing on La La Land, directed by Damien Chazelle, cinematography done by Linus Sandgren, and Interstellar, directed by Christopher Nolan, cinematography done by Hoyt van Hoytema.
Film is a form of art, so, understandably, each person who views the same piece may get an entirely different experience from it. Because of this, it's difficult to say if a movie has good or bad cinematography, because cinematography itself is completely subjective. The telling of a good story needs to have good direction and focus. Cinematography can be an effective tool that allows the director to enhance focus on components that he or she deems important to the story. It is part of what gives film the ability to change and evolve over time.
Movies produced today look very different from those produced in the 1920s. The use of CGI has irreversibly altered how many movies are created. It has made so many things possible to see on screen that, at one point in time, never could have been imagined.
Let's look at our first example of brilliant cinematography. La La Land is a movie that incorporates a strong presence of color in every frame. It also shows inspiration from movies like Singing in the Rain.
A beautiful sunset.
You're a real, what's the word I'm looking for?
Knight in shining armor.
Dance numbers reminiscent of Eleanor Powell and Fred Astaire. And many more classic movie musicals. Every frame shows deliberate placement of color that can set the mood or tone of the scene. The contrast of bold colors sets the characters apart from the worlds they interact in. Another element that draws in the viewer is the movement of the camera. In almost every shot, the camera is constantly moving, establishing a curious lens that follows the action and gives an organic feel. There is emphasis on the use of shadow to select important figures to focus on or details to pay attention to. In this scene, as the camera dollies in on Mia, shadow begins to envelop the space around her, making her the sole focus of the shot. This sets Mia apart from everything else. It also makes the character look as if they are acting on a stage, their every move followed by the camera, audience, and spotlight. The same technique is used again when the focus is turned to Sebastian. Throughout the film, when this use of shadow is implemented, it creates a sense of intimacy that binds the two characters together, seemingly making everything else disappear as they focus on each other. The film does incorporate some elements of CGI, such as this beautiful planetarium number.
Interstellar is a film that utilizes practical effects in combination with CGI to create a contrast between two worlds. To contribute to the idea of Earth being uninhabitable, the lighting is dim during the scene set on Earth, and almost flat in color. It makes Earth seem undesirable and empty. As Cooper exits his truck and helps his daughter out, he shelters his daughter and the two hurry inside. The person filming is directly behind them, walking in the same manner as if their life too is at stake. This is what allows for the audience to feel as if they are experiencing the same setting. It's important to note that Christopher Nolan, as is characteristic of the famous director, wanted a lifelike set. Green screens weren't used. This isn't to say that CGI wasn't incorporated. In order to create the effect of being in space, it was necessary, but the authenticity of the set allowed for that effect to be enhanced, and that in and of itself is what makes the film so unique in its cinematography. Now that that's been cleared up, let's delve into what makes the cinematography of the film so incredible. Because so much of the film is set in space, there needs to be the impression of physically being in space. A good set obviously contributes a lot to this, but the gravity of it, the physicality of it, that's accomplished through cinematography. Throughout the film, the camera pans, rotates, spins. You feel as if you are floating in space yourself. For example, in this shot, you feel as if you are on the rocket with them. The camera shakes in order to create the effect of rumbling. In this next shot, the camera spins with the spacecraft, and then spins during the shot within it, further creating the illusion of floating in space.
In the world of film, there is no limit to the artistic expression that can be achieved through cinematography. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for future content.